The New Day space race, the cost Earth pays. No sooner did humans decide to end war on Earth after facing its deadly consequences than they began venturing into space. The Cold War gave an impetus to the superpowers to expand their power and mark their territory beyond the boundaries of Earth. What started as space exploration for scientific and technological purposes has now commercialized to mark the peak of capitalism. Space tourism refers to recreational space travel by privatized companies. Richard Branson, the founder of the Virgin Group, and Jeff Bezos, the owner of Blue Origin, recently marked the beginning of this trend by traveling to space, which is going to become increasingly popular in the near future. The ongoing discussion of space tourism is restricted only to billionaires. However, with cheaper technological alternatives in the making, a larger section of the population can afford to travel to space for a few minutes. The topic of space tourism has extensive relevance due to its significant impact on the environment and the economy. While this is only the start of the space tourism industry, there is enough evidence to support the claim that it will emit harmful amounts of pollutants as and when it expands. A large body of private space companies challenge claims of massive pollution caused by space tourism. Entrepreneurs investing in space travel, such as Richard Branson of Virgin Galactic, argue that space travel would reveal a smaller carbon footprint than normal air travel. They argue that the amount of pollutants is not more than commercial flights that operate in a much larger number. However, with the current scale of expansion, space tourism is predicted to grow a lot more than what we see today. It's incredibly problematic if you want to be environmentally conscious and consider our carbon footprint. There are associated concerns regarding the black carbon and soot that is emitted from rockets. These carbons cannot be washed away when they're accumulated in the stratosphere. Such harmful rocket emissions clearly imply a grim future for climate change, including melting of glaciers and ozone layer depletion. Another layer to this argument is that the emissions per passenger are significantly higher in space tourism as compared to a traditional airplane flight. According to a report by The Conversation, rockets emit 100 times more carbon dioxide per passenger as opposed to flights. This information provides a clear warning against the expansion of the space tourism industry in order to preserve the Earth. While the tourism industry is an excellent source of generating global revenue, a large body of research makes claims of harmful consequences of commercial space tourism. According to the WTTC, the travel and tourism industry contributes 8.8 trillion USD or 10.4% of global GDP. Additionally, economic analysts have predicted that global space tourism could grow to $1.7 billion by 2027. There is a direct connection between the development of space tourism industry and economic growth. The space tourism industry has the potential to create many new jobs in this economy. That being said, the growth of this sector comes with a heavy price. The release of soot and black carbon impairs the ozone layer and the stratosphere. It has been found that the soot emitted by 1,000 flights to space could increase the temperature of Antarctica by 1 degree Celsius. Since this is the emerging phase of space tourism, there are several unknown risks involved. It is hard to scale the full extent of the environmental harm that space tourism can cause. The cost of undoing the damage caused by the carbon footprints may be beyond the means of the population if this continues. Efforts are being made by private space companies to minimize the damage to the environment. The extent of the pollution caused by each trip will vary on the basis of the choice of fuel, energy, and destination of the flight. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos argues that his company Blue Origin uses liquid hydrogen and oxygen in their tourism flights to space. While this choice of fuel is less harmful to the environment than the other alternatives, experts claim that it could still have a negative impact on Earth. As private space companies work on building sustainable machines, it might be possible to keep the pollution levels under check. However, when even the minimal level of pollution is added to that of Earth, it becomes a grave situation. There are enough polluting elements on Earth that are either inevitable or difficult to stop consuming, whereas space tourism can be avoided. The global top 1% is responsible for 175 times more greenhouse gas pollution than the average person in the bottom 10%. It is this 1% of the population that will have access to space tourism also, which is for purely recreational purposes. There is a price that planet Earth pays for every trip to space. According to the facts discussed, it can be seen that the cost of space tourism significantly outweighs its benefit. The question today is if the human population is willing to sacrifice the quality of their habitat for a few minutes of thrill in space. Thank you.